Things have just taken a shocking turn, revolving around one of the top international free agents in this season after something that they said about the Dodgers, and this has Dodgers fans heated. We're going to be breaking that down as well as going over an update revolving around Shohei Ohtani and the World Baseball Classic with one major question still at bay. We're going to be breaking it all down here in this video. Before we do jump into it, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the sub button. Join us here on the channel. We're covering everything Dodgers, and with a lot of news coming out just like this, as well as all of the serious updates surrounding a lot of the moves, we're going to have it all right here on the channel every single day. You will not want to miss it, but we need to jump straight into this. And the first thing on today's agenda is Tatsuya Imai, one of the top free agent pitchers available this year and one of the top international players available in free agency, has spoken out about the Dodgers when asked the question if he would like to play with this team, and this is what he had to say. Of course, I'd enjoy playing alongside Otani, Yamamoto, and Sasaki, but winning against a team like that and becoming a world champion would be the most valuable thing in my life. If anything, I'd rather take them down. Now, this quote right here brings a lot of emotions, and I will say that right now. Tatsuya Imai would be an obvious great addition to the Dodgers. They don't necessarily need a starting pitcher, but the more, the better. And especially when you can bring over some more players from Japan who are very tight-knit with Roki Sasaki, Shohei Ohtani, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and especially a pitcher. However, you gotta respect what he's saying, because obviously he knows, everybody knows, that this Dodgers organization right now is a dynasty. And the fact that you have people going out of their way to want to compete against this team, against some of your friends, I can't really hate it, because honestly, it wouldn't be the exact same way for us if we were up against another team. We see it with the Yankees, we see it with the Blue Jays from the last few World Series. We want to beat them whenever, so if we had seen them win, it would be the same emotion, but I just feel like it really goes and puts an emphasis on how good this team actually is, that people are going out of their way. Someone who's going to make their first year in the MLB, one to remember by trying to take down this team. If anything, it's a sign of respect, because Tatsuya Imai is a very solid player, especially over this most recent season, and like we've been speaking about, a 1.92 ERA over a handful of games, 24 to be specific, with 25 and 24 in the years before. He's a solid player, and someone that I think a lot of teams are going to be looking for. And even though the Dodgers were linked, we're all in this conversation with Tatsuya Imai and being a team that we're going to get him solely because he was a Japanese player. There may be a little bit of an interesting update from what we've last heard and from more comments that Tatsuya Imai has spoken on. He says, if there were another Japanese player on the same team, I could just ask them about anything, right? But that's actually not what I'm looking for. In one way, I want to experience that sense of survival when I come face to face with cultural differences. I want to see how I can overcome them on my own. That's part of what I'm excited about. So it may seem like the Dodgers never had a chance in the first place, and this is actually, if true, from Tatsuya Imai, and of course, if he does not get an offer that he, can't deny from one of these teams, is a major bonus for this Dodgers team, because when you're going to look at, of course, this rotation right now, we obviously have a lot of Japanese players, we have a lot of people that can start in this rotation, so Tatsuya Imai would cause, just more of an issue on that rotation, but when you go and look at other teams who have at least some star Japanese players, the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Padres, the Mets, the Angels, a lot of teams here, the Giants as well can be thrown into that category. If what Tatsuya Imai is saying is what his desire is, these teams will not be in an option for Tatsuya Imai. So, given the opportunity, teams like the Mets, the Red Sox, the Cubs, Padres, some of the biggest opponents and could be some of the biggest challenges for this Dodgers team will not get Tatsuya Imai. And I guess one real big A team that is not here is the Blue Jays, and I think they're another team that we could meet in the World Series again, because I fully believe this team can get there, and I think it's just a matter of time until we see who an opponent could be for this Dodgers team. So, looking at this and looking at it that way, I think this is something that certainly is a major bonus for the Dodgers, being a team that already is at an extremely good level, and the fact that they're still competing for a lot of these top free agents is good, and you're seeing some of these teams and some of these players say, we're going to do anything we can to beat the Dodgers. It would be, the goal of my life. I think it's only respect to the Dodgers there, but obviously, you're going to remember that when it does come postseason time, and you may see them in a World Series game. So I want to know what you guys think about that. And I want to ask you guys the question as well is, what do you guys think about Tatsuya Imai's comments? How do you feel? Do you think this is going to have an impact on the Dodgers? Personally, I think it's not going to be something they're going to lose sleep over, but they're going to remember that if they do face Tatsuya Imai in a major game where you see him on a mound against one of the opponents that may be a wall to the World Series. So I like the comments, honestly, from a Dodger standpoint, because it's still going to light that fire for a lot of opportunities for this team. So let me know what you guys think here in the comments below as well. But we do have a few more updates before we do finish the video off, going about the World Baseball Classic. And this is one that I think we all expected. It was just a matter of time. And the reigning World Baseball Classic MVP plans on running it back. Otani says he will play for Team Japan in 2026. And this raises a few questions. None that are bad, however, which is obviously a very good thing. But what is going to be the plan with him on said team? Will he be a pitcher? Will he be, an option in the field? There's a lot of questions that are surrounding this, and we're looking at this right now as the rotation for this Japan team. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Kodai Senga, Tatsuya Imai, Shota Imanaga, and you see right there at the bottom, they have a projection of Shohei Ohtani as a closing pitcher, and this is a very interesting thing to think about for this team because, of course, Ohtani pitched this year, was great, showed a lot of promise, and even in the World Series was a guy that you wanted to rely on, even though the Blue Jays did get to him a little bit. Now, whether or not that will continue next year for the Dodgers, we have to assume it will, but we don't want to assume anything if the Dodgers have some big plans elsewhere, like, let's just say we see another big-name starter. Would they want Ohtani as a regular starter? I think a lot of questions are still there. I think we have our answer that Ohtani will be the starter next year or a top starter, but you're seeing this on Team Japan right now, him being a closer as well as the option of being in the outfield. And when we do go and look at the regular lineup that we're going to see, the projected lineup, I should say, and I'll make this on the big screen, even though it is still very small. I do apologize, but they have Ohtani listed as a DH, as you would, leading off everything that we've seen with the Dodgers. But I think a big question is, would they put him in the outfield? And would, if they find some success in that, the Dodgers try the same thing? And I think these are all things we're going to have to keep an eye on, because right now, I think it's very hard to assume with how many good players they have on this roster, how many players that are going to be fighting for a spot. They're going to want to make sure they're getting their best names available. And even though that might be Ohtani, they're going to try and make room for everybody that they will find success. And so this is something to certainly keep an eye on. And I wanted to get your guys' opinions below as well on this. If they're going to put Ohtani as a starter, keep him as a closer, do whatever they did in the last World Baseball Classic. We saw him go up against Mike Trout. I mean, that was a storybook ending, but I want to know what you guys think is going to be coming for him and that team. But that is all I have in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out, though. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.